today's video is going to be all about recovery, everything I do for recovery / injury prevention. So we're going to kind of go over all the different little facets that I think contribute to that. First things first, it's going to be every morning when I wake up, I do a morning mobility routine. It's mainly focused around the hips and like IT band, because I've had issues with the IT band in the past. So I'm going to start by going over some of that. Okay, so first things first, we always roll. I try to kind of take my time and hit the back of my legs first, really just trying to get some blood in the muscles and wake them up. Plus, I think it just feels good. Then flip over and hit the front, hit the quads. Then roll out our back good, kind of move our shoulders around, go through a full range of motion here and get everything loosened up before we get into the different mobility things. Then these windshield wipers, I believe is what they're called. I've really been enjoying them for my IT band and my hips to kind of open them up, especially like first thing in the morning, right after you roll out of bed. You know, you're kind of stiff and you're just waking up. Getting something that gets your heart rate up a little bit and move around a little bit is always good. These, can't remember what the hell they're called, but another great one for that IT band area. You can hear my damn knee clicking every time at the bottom, but and then I do 10 each side of those, and then 10 total for the windshield wipers. And then you'll see when I switch and transition over to the next things that I'll do 10 of each of those as well. So the first thing of that will be just these raises, just straight up and down. Then again, more stuff for the hips. Then I kind of transitioned into these forward ones, just trying to keep my foot the same level above the ground the whole way. It's about 4 inches above your bottom foot, which is resting on the ground. 10 of these as well, and then switch to going backwards. 10 of these, and then doing the same thing where you're keeping that foot about 4 inches above the other foot. Just trying to keep it level. And then really squeezing your glutes. And then these are, I think they're called clamshells, but after that rest of those exercises, just go straight into these, and then I usually feel a pretty good burn in my glute / hip. Then I'll roll in my stomach and get a little bit of shoulder mobility, just kind of try to do 10 raises with each arm and then 10 with them together. And then finally, after all that, we finish out with just kind of rolling out our feet. I do wish I had a lacrosse ball, something solid. This one's got these little like ribs on it that I feel like you almost can't push as hard into stuff with this ball as you would with like a solid lacrosse ball. So maybe I'll have to look into switching that. But I do think this helps a lot, especially with like the plantar fasciitis and kind of breaking stuff up and keeping your feet loose. All right, so that's pretty much all for the morning routine and everything that goes with that. I would say the next piece of the puzzle will be a good warm-up before you run, making sure that you got blood in your legs and that you're ready to go before you just start taking off, because that's one time I've noticed in the past where I've either gone into something not quite ready and either like pulled a hamstring or a quad. That's generally from sprinting, but still like not being warm going into that high intensity movement can cause some injuries. So I always make sure I do a pretty good warm up before I run. Here's kind of some of the warm up. I don't have the whole thing on here, but there's just basically like a dynamic stretching warm up. All right, so obviously warm up's important, mobility is important. This one's more of just an extra thing that I've been doing that I really feel like I've been seeing the benefits from. And that's just straight after I run, I hop right into the sauna. First thing, heart rate's still high, get straight into the sauna. It's supposed to have some good benefits for heat adaptation and just your cardiovascular system overall. And I think being better adapted to heat can kind of help with some prevention, injury prevention. But also, it's supposed to have some pretty good recovery benefits. But something I really, really have been enjoying doing. And then going straight from that into the stretching when you have all that blood still going through your legs and everything because of the heat and the run. It's the best time to stretch. Which brings me to our next point is the stretching. So that's another thing that I do after every single run. Get out of the sauna and I do my stretching routine. It takes about 17 minutes exactly. It's the same routine I've been doing for a while. But it's pretty much all legs focused. There's a few things for like my neck and a couple other things, but it's 30-second hold for every stretch. I think the stretching has been super vital too. Not necessarily getting any more flexible because I really haven't gained any flexibility, but just kind of taking your body through those ranges of motion so that way it doesn't freak out when you maybe get put in an awkward position. It kind of knows how to respond because it's been there quite often. And then also just, it's extra mobility work. Can't hurt. So I just threw in like a minute of the beginning of the stretching routine just to kind of show you a couple of the stretches as well as just ask some questions here because I did upload a full sped up video of this to TikTok, but if you guys would be interested in me just putting the full thing on here as like a video where you could stretch along or do it as I do it type of thing, I would definitely do that for you guys. So I guess just leave a comment and let me know if you guys would be interested in that type of video. And the final thing that I want to talk to you about when it comes to recovery and injury prevention, I guess final two things, is sleep and diet. Probably the most important out of everything. All this other stuff helps, don't get me wrong, but if you're getting really poor sleep and you're not recovering and you're not fueling properly and eating enough, that's like the number one way you're going to get injured. And not recovering enough is it's also just going to make your workouts brutal and not enjoyable, and you're going to feel like shit. So there's a lot of things that I do around sleep to try and get my sleep better, which we can make a whole nother video on that, but a lot of it's just being in routine and keeping it the same. And then as far as diet goes, just kind of, you don't have to be super strict and track everything. Maybe going through a season of doing that so you kind of understand what's in different foods, but overall, as long as you kind of are being smart and you understand what you're doing, like what you're putting in your body, you should be good for the most part. You don't have to be super strict and down to every single calorie, but those are the big two as far as recovery goes. You gotta really treat sleep and food with some respect. But yeah, man, that's about everything I could think of off the top of my head. I guess let me know if you guys have any questions. I would love to get to them. You can check me out on Instagram and TikTok too. I've got a lot more stuff about, you know, this type of thing on there. Then if you want to support your boy with the Dream Recovery nose strips, it's code Muskie. You get 15% off your first order. Helps me out a little bit, helps you guys out a little bit. So if you feel like doing that, go ahead. But that's all for this one.